Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today we are going to talk about the Heroic Brawliseum, which returns to Hearthstone tomorrow. And we're going to talk about you should not enter it unless you're basically willing to accept a huge loss, and how it is knowingly put together as a way to try and take players' gold before the mini set launches, which if you watched our video just a few days ago, it will be coming out and be announced the second the Heroic Brawl is over, unless they change their pattern. But this has been a historical thing, and I want to get into the details of how the Heroic Brawl, although fun for people like me as a streamer or people that don't care about resources, is effectively a gold sink, a scam to take 30% of all players' gold who enters before the mini set comes out. And of course, if you enjoy the content on the channel, you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit the sub button down below. Give the video a like. You know, maybe we'll end up back on the blacklist for making a video like this. You never know. So all the support in the world would help for sure. So I'm on patch 25.2, and the first reason I say the Heroic Brawl is kind of a scam they don't want you to know about is, how would you know the Heroic Brawl is coming? As of right now, the only way to know is to go to patch 25.2 patch notes, which are only found on Blizzard's own website. And you gotta scroll down just a little bit, you know, you just, how are you guys doing? You having a great weekend? Did you have a great weekend? You know, are you looking forward to, oh yeah, here it is, the Heroic Brawl. All the way buried, literally the last item before bug fixes and game improvements, and it is listed here, and this will be the only place. This will be the only place officially from Blizzard you will find the reward structure. We're gonna go over it into detail, but there's a reason it's hidden. It is not posted in the game, it is not stated in any way whatsoever, nor is the mini set reference that it will be coming out anytime soon, and it will be standard rules if you do participate. It's February 1st, the Heroic Brawl fan favorite, which again to me is kind of laughable, but it is what it is. The one good thing I will say compared to every other time we've seen a Heroic Brawl is everybody gets a standard pack. There'll be a legendary quest for players to win a game of any type in order to get a standard pack. I believe there will be a quest pop up for this portrait, which if you win 3 games total, we'll talk about that as another predatory means of getting people to sink their gold. The quest should pop up. You'll be very curious to see if the quest pops up for this, if there'll be any link towards any reward structure. I'm really hoping they actually put the reward structure in this time, but based on some Twitter events, be highly unlikely. We'll go into that. So yes, that's the Heroic Brawl. That's what's going on. Again, we'll go into the reward structure, but basically 0 wins, you go 0-3, you get a pack for 1,000 gold. If you get 12 wins, you get 50 packs of only the most recent expansion, which are lower value as time goes on, right? They're not standard packs. You get 1,100 dust, 1,100 gold approximately, and you get 3 golden legendaries. So if you get 12 wins, it's freaking insane. You definitely do really well. But again, we'll go over that as well. But my big issue, as I mentioned, is the disclosure rate. The fact they do not put in the reward scheme, because the average player are not going to see these patch notes. The average player will just see 1,000 gold, and the only thing they'll see is a pop-up of like, oh, you know, high stakes, whatever. So I proposed this last Heroic Brawl. I tweeted this out. I tagged some devs, put it as politely as possible. I'm kindly asking the next time we have a Heroic Brawl, can we please get in-game messaging seen below to link towards Heroic Brawl wards. The event itself is fun for some, but having this information at the bottom of old patch notes goes missed by many. And it's even worse this time because the patch notes are even larger. And as I just said, click to learn more. If you're not aware, they literally have this pop up every time there's a patch in Battlegrounds. The technology's there, they choose not to use it. And I tagged Celestial on, who is the modes lead, the features lead. He's the guy in charge of doing all, like, putting together all the features in the game. So again, when this was announced, I tweeted for players that will attempt to unlock the new Death Knight portrait, because again, this is another way to just entice new players. They're going to see this portrait, they're going to see 1,000 gold, they're going to click on the thing to do it because they want the portrait, not realizing how difficult it is and how high the stakes are. They will spend 1,000 gold, and the ones that fall short will get a maximum of 3 packs and nothing else. They did change this after this tweet that you only need 3 wins total. Before, you needed to do 3 wins in your best run. They have changed that so it's not as bad. They'll be behind on the mini set and it'll feel awful. This reward structure is also never shown in game, so they likely won't even know. I then tagged devs below. If the reward scheme is at least advertised in game where all players could see it happen, I could stomach this a lot more. Please make this happen. Celestial on, play Hearthstone, deck tech. This looks really bad otherwise. And after you know, the usual silence, I said, I don't understand why it's so hard to add the reward structures that pop up in the game, or at least something that links to the patch notes like we have seen in Battlegrounds. The fact I'm always met with silence when I inquire about this, as you've seen, I have literally posted about this every brawl all year, 3 in a row, never had a response, never had anything. And they respond to me about most things. This is always silence. So I say also the fact I'm always met with silence when I inquire about this makes it feel very intentional. Hopper the very next day went on to basically put his concerns out there. Would really appreciate this if you could get changed to play 3 games instead. Those that are getting less than 3 wins in a run are already bleeding a lot of value in the Tavern Brawl. They should likely have never entered it. Funny enough, Brownie Hopper came after me on Twitter the last brawl, saying it wasn't really, you know, good, you know, it's not in bad faith in all this. And by the end of it, he apologized and said, yeah, he's not a fan of it, and that's why he made this post. He followed this up by saying, I feel quite bad emotionally when playing against people that have basic cards, Direwolf Alpha, like you see basic cards, and I see that every time I do this brawl, because they most likely didn't realize it would get paired with just anyone and are then short of gold for the mini set. That is why I don't play it. So this is the world champion, Hearthstone esports world champion. Celestalon responded to him, just to throw it out there, please consider the effects on what describe when things happen to actively break the shark tank, which is like, what's the shark tank? And well, it was asked here by Captain Kitty, could you elaborate a bit more on what break the shark tank means? Sure, Bunny is talking about the shark tank effect, a situation where the vast majority of people playing a certain mode are high skill sharks. And so when a few low skill players trickle in, they quickly lose to the sharks, have a bad time, and leaving only sharks. Bunny's suggestion is to make it so these low skill players can go in, get their 3 losses, and get out. That gets them the reward, but does nothing to break the shark tank effect. I'm pointing out the mere fact that if this reward exists drastically changes the situation. If you can introduce a whole bunch of new players to the mode, significantly increases the population of players, then you no longer have sharks eating every new player. To use a number example, if there are 5 sharks, they're just fighting amongst themselves, they'll eat up 3 new players that come in. But if 100 new players come in all at once, then a few of them, they may lose a game or 2 to sharks, but mostly be fighting each other. Bunny Hopper says, well, I really like the idea. Doesn't it making it 3 wins not also have the adverse effect by keeping out all of those people who are afraid to leave with nothing and rather not try at all? The added benefit sets in when people spend 2,000 gold. I have no idea how big of an investment that is for the average player. It's a lot. It's a freaking mini set, to say the least. The negative effect, however, sets in immediately, which, as you could tell, did not go over well with Celestalon's response. So they still refuse to comment on disclosure, refuse to comment on the timing of the fact it's always before a mini set, is they want more bad players in there, so maybe they're less likely to get eaten up by good players. Funny enough, Luna, another top pro player, asked, so the assertion here is that adding a skin reward for 3 wins will bring in enough non-sharks and the shark tank effect will be minimized, with Celestalon saying, I have no idea if it's enough, but it feels like it should have some effect in that direction. Yeah, so that's the only dev response we've had about Heroic Brawl, and I'm sorry, it doesn't put a lot of confidence in me. It just seems like, yeah, they're trying to get more people in there, particularly bad people that will inevitably have bad feelings. And going into the Heroic Brawl structure itself, if you look at, I'm going to link this wiki below if you want to look. The only time any of these Heroic Brawls were not timed before a major content release was ironically the only time they ever gave a free run. May of 2017, a wild Heroic Brawl, they gave a free run to everybody, and it was right after an expansion. There was no anything. It was just a nice gesture, and ever since then, it's either been before an expansion or lately every time the week before the mini set is announced. So yes, it's 1,000 gold to get in, 1,000 runestones. The reward structure as is below, but statistically, this is where it gets really scary. Take the rewards distribution amongst 8,200 players. Statistically, just if you're taking a look at the odds, the percentage of players that will get 3 wins or less are around 50%. The average player to just get the portrait, to get 3 wins, will have to spend 2,000 gold, a full mini set, and the rewards will be pitiful. They will be getting about the rewards of about 3 packs, 300 gold, which isn't even remotely accurate because packs diminish in value as you open more Lich King packs. And as it goes along, it gets even worse, with the people getting 10 wins or more being less than like 2.5% total. It is extremely top heavy reward structure, with the likelihood of actually winning being almost impossible. Players like myself who play non-stop basically for the last 8 years are good players. I've gotten 12 wins twice, and I've done a ton of runs. Even the best players in the world sometimes sometimes don't even get 12 throughout the entire run, even if they've done 10 of them. And the craziest thing here is the average payout. So this is the total rake. The average payout, if you take together everybody that's going to participate, is 700 gold per person, which is just assuming packs are worth 100 gold, which is not entirely accurate. It's actually a little bit worse. For each 1,000 gold Heroic Brawl buy-in, that is a 30% rake. And I took a look, even casinos average between 2 to 5%, or this one says 4 to 5% of the rake, where they take in actual hard-earned money. They don't even get this greedy. Casinos don't get this greedy probably because they're regulated, but this is a 30% rake. They are knowingly taking from players and trying to obscure the fact that the rewards are that bad, and are now actively trying to get more players to sink in resources by putting out this portrait, luring you in with the first ever female Death Knight portrait. I hate to say it's a scam, but every piece of evidence that I have, the payout, the fact they never answer about the timing, they never answer about the disclosure, even devs actively admitting they want more basically bad players in there to hopefully mitigate the effect of being eaten by sharks. At the end of the day, it's a really bad look, and I can only recommend this brawl for people like content creators that it doesn't matter. I have gold, I have every card, I can throw away all my gold, it doesn't matter. Or maybe you're just somebody that values that portrait. You don't care about spending 2,000-3,000 gold on it. It doesn't matter to you. Don't feel bad about entering it. That's fine. But the problem is there are so many players out there that have no idea about this reward structure, have no idea a mini set is coming. They're going to enter it. They're going to see that quest thing, and they're going to feel absolutely terrible, and then likely be short of gold for the mini set, and then maybe they'll have to spend money, which is ultimately what this feels like it all comes down to. I would love for Blizzard to just take a step in the right direction, disclose the rewards, or maybe announce the mini set before this, or do the Heroic Brawl after the mini set. Time it so it doesn't look so bad, because as it is right now, to me, it just looks like an outright scam, and there's just no need for it. There's just no need for it when there's so many things to spend money on in the game anyways. It just feels underhanded to me, and it sucks that this video is only going to reach so many people. There's so many people that will have no idea, and ultimately they know that, and they're going to get their gold one way or the other. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.